What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami from the Toku and Animation News Network here at Fan Expo Denver 2025, and we are in conversation with
JaVon O. Stokes.
Remember to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. Welcome to Fan Expo Denver. Is this your first time here?
This is my first time in Denver, period. So yeah, this has been great. I enjoy it.
Have you been having a good experience?
Oh yeah, I love it. You guys have really blue skies here. Like, super blue skies.
So for people who might not know who you are, who are you?
So like I said, my name is JaVon O. Stokes. I am a writer, artist, publisher, podcaster, all-around creative individual. I run my own company, Visually Stoked Media, where I publish comics, children's books. I'm working on doing some animation, script writing, anything creative.
And what got you into this field?
Well, I mean, I've been reading comics since I was a kid. Comics helped me learn how to read better. And from there, like any kid, you kind of make your comics, you staple them together, and I was doing that for all my childhood. And eventually, as time went on, I got better as an artist, and I got more into the craft. And I think around my late 20s, early 30s, I decided to just kind of go in and do it. And I just sat down at my kitchen table, did my first comic, drew it on the kitchen table, and I'm here in Denver, which is crazy.
So what were things like before you decided to fully pursue the comic career? What were you working on?
Before comics, my degree is in 3D animation. I went to Savannah College of Art and Design. So I was kind of looking for a job in the 3D animation field, which is really tough. Like, if you know anything about it, it's super competitive, super inconsistent sometimes. So I was doing that, and then I was a comic book reader, and I consider myself to be a comic book historian. I love reading about the history of comics, so that's kind of where my head was at, my career was at.
What's your favorite area for the history of comics?
I have never been asked that question before. Wow. My favorite area?
Area or era?
Well, era, decade.
Oh, era.
Okay, yeah, I was a little confused.
Wow. As a kid, we have the nostalgia, so growing up, I do remember books from the 80s and the early 90s. So I look back fondly on that era. But I would say that's the one I go back to a lot.
That was a really good era of comics. Like, I actually just finished, I spent the last 3 years reading the entire Chris Claremont run of X-Men technically I started with the very first issues from Kirby and Lee.
Okay.
And went all the way to the end of Claremont and Lee.
Wow. I actually have been buying the Marvel Masterworks lately.
I'm an omnibus collector.
Yeah, the omnibuses. So I've been getting a lot of those. So I've been doing a lot of. I'm in that era now, the John Byrne and Claremont. But I'm trying to go back and forward at the same time. I want to have the entire run of X-Men books. I'm a completist, so
that's how I am.
Yeah.
But I also loved how a lot of the omnibuses include the letters pages, so you get to see what fans thought of the comics at that time.
We've always been insane. Comics fandom has always been great.
But like another one of my favorite eras is the EC Comics era, when the comic code came in and they were no longer allowed to do horror comics because of the codes.
Yep, that's a good era too. I love the EC horror books, Tales from the Crypt and all that stuff. I love obscure books. My mother used to buy me these, BJ's? BJ's used to have these stacks of books wrapped in plastic, and they would sell, it'd be 50 books for $20. And so my mother would buy them, but they would be all the most random books. It would be like Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, and then obscure books of the Elementals, Comico Elementals, Valiant books would be bound in there. So I was very, so I got to see a lot. Yes, I got to see so much more Marvel and DC because of those books, which kind of helped me grow as a fan and as a creator.
And what is this comic series you have here on your table?
Awesome. You want me to do this? So these are my two characters, my two main books, Heat and Strong. I'm going to do the comic book pitch. Heat answers the question, what if the powers that make you a hero also want you to destroy the world? If you like Spider-Man, Green Lantern, Invincible, you like Heat. And then Strong is the day in the life of the strongest superhero on the planet. Just happens to be a 6'2", half black, half Latina powerhouse. If you like Superman, Supergirl, Sailor Moon, you'll like Strong. So these are the books that I started out doing. Heat was my first book. That's the one I did on my kitchen table. Well, Heat wasn't my first book. It was a successful one that I did. I've done other books that I'm going to be revamping and making them viable concepts, but Heat is the one that kind of took off, and it's the one I've been doing longest. Strong I did around COVID, and it's had a very good reception, well received, and I'm actually now working on the next book for it, which hopefully will be about a couple of months.
Are these, like, how many issues is each series, or are they ongoing? Have they been collected in paperback form at all?
So, and I'm going to show you the beat up. This is the beat up copy. This is for fans. This is not what the books looks like. People can read through. Heat, I did the miniseries, a 3-issue miniseries, and then I did a 70-page graphic novel, and I collected them both in this graphic novel here. It is currently sold out this weekend. It's amazing. I appreciate Denver for the support. So Heat has that, and then the new series. The new series has 3 issues that are available right now, which continues the story. Strong is one shot for now. I am working on the next series, and then I'm going to be looking for artists to kind of keep it going, because I have other, stuff I want to work on and continue to create.
So right now, are you writing and drawing them all of them?
I do everything in the book: write, draw, color, letter, everything.
So you're trying to get artists. You're still gonna write the books at least?
Oh, I'm always gonna write.
Okay.
Always gonna write the books. I'm an idea factory, so like I'll write the books. Like scripting is less difficult than art. Scripting I can do I can do one script in about 2 to 3 days. Sometimes it takes a lot longer for me to do a page. Sometimes it might take a week to do a page because I'm getting reference material and stuff like that, and I'm trying to streamline and get faster. But so I can knock out scripts faster than I can draw. So, but I would like to have more content, more stuff out, which means I have to bring in more artists.
And where can people buy your books at?
You can get my books at visuallystoked.com. That sounds exactly like it. It's visuallystoked.com. And you can find me at a ton of Comic-Cons. I've done a ton of fan expos. I've done a bunch of other Comic-Cons that I love Heroes Con, and a bunch of other ones that I'll be at this year. So 9 times out of 10, if you see me on the East Coast, if you go on a Comic-Con on the East Coast, I'll probably be there. I do a lot of Comic-Cons.
And what are you most proud about with your career?
Most proud is the most proud thing I've ever done was the first Heat book I ever did. Because so many people say they want to do comics and they don't do it, or they get halfway through it and they quit, or they just the love of it goes out because of the business. The fact that I was able to do my first book and actually sell it, like that first sale, I can still remember the first sale. So that's the most proud thing I've ever done. Everything else is built on top of that.
And what social media links can people find you at?
Visually Stoked Media, one word, Instagram. If you look up Visually Stoked Media on Facebook, you can find me there. And I think it's visually_stoked for X, Twitter, whatever you call it now. I think I have a TikTok. I just don't remember the name of the TikTok. I never use it, but I'm working on it. But Instagram, I'm always on. Visually Stoked Media, one word.
Any final words for our viewers?
Buy my books. Listen, I'm very big on creatives doing what they love. Don't be discouraged. You're gonna hear 100 no's. All it takes is one yes. And sometimes it's just better to do it yourself. You don't have to wait for somebody else to make your dream. So just get out there and do it, and just be delusionally relentless.
Well, thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you so much. I appreciate it.
Until next time, bye.